What up, guys? Waifu for you here. And today I got my 2-week back-to-back. Same thing with Smith. I didn't get a deck profile last week because schedule was cramped. We were busy. I had to close the shop early. It is what it is. 2-week back-to-back. Newest member. Straight stole him from Mid-Tier Gaming. Just kidding. He's on loan. I'm still making my payments. But welcome to the team. Ricky Sanchez. This is also the same dude who does all my thumbnails. So if you like these thumbnails, give me a thumbs up.
Yeah,
all right, so Ricky, what did you play today?
All right, we played the Waifu Police. Look, hang on, I'll hold them up.
Oh, hell yeah.
We played the Waifu Police. We played, we played a lot of control. I'm used to control decks in most of my card games, so Waifu Police fit me pretty well. So let's go over the deck real quick. The ride line first. So we have Ruby. Ruby is our draw one when we go second. Then we got Kyanite, who just searches out the prison, which we'll go into a little bit later, but it allows you to search the deck. Normally with her, you want to have a grade 1 in opening, because if you go second, you want to play a grade 1 to tap that down instead of tapping her down. That way you get the extra draw on attack. Then we got a grade 2, which is, hopefully I don't say this wrong, fuck, what was her name? It's Rosetta. When she's placed in the Vanguard circle, they imprison 1 from hand. Sometimes this can go really bad for you, especially when they have cards that soul charge when they're played and they just recycle it over and over. But against the Bruce matchup, we almost decked them out by forcing them to have to constantly play out their gun gunners and forcing them to soul charge the triggers. It was beautiful, like went perfectly exactly how I imagined it. And then our final grade 3 is Seraph Snow, the beautiful queen herself of the prison. And she does counterblast 1, imprison 2 rear guards. It doesn't matter which circles they're in, which does matter in certain cards that we will see later. And then she gets a 10k boost as long as there's 1 or more card in prison. And then if there's 3 or more cards in prison, they get a +1 drive check. So triple drive, it's a lot of draw, and it helps out the deck a lot. So we'll go over the grade 1s. Mentioned earlier, the prison. The prison, if you guys don't know what this does, you play in your order zone, which is a new zone in Overdress. And essentially, when it gets played, you have to rest a unit, and then you have to soul charge 3 into your Vanguard. And then whenever a card gets put into the prison, as I explained earlier, there are cards that put them into prison, you need to soul blast 1 to free 1, and then you need to counterblast 1 to free 2. Specifically, your opponent has to, because your opponent's cards are normally the only ones going in here. I don't know if later down the line they'll add more. So you got the 1 prison. 2 gets too clunky. I know the starter deck comes with 2, but 2 gets a little too clunky. Then for our grade 1s, my favorite one, the little robot, the little Roomba.
My boy Roomba.
Little Roomba. You can call him Wally, you can call him Eve, whatever you want. But essentially, it's an 8k that gets a 2k boost whenever there's a card in prison or more. And then it can also guard for 10 from hand. Normally you want to keep this in hand unless you have to, like turn 1. If you have to, put this behind your Vanguard. Normally you don't want to put it behind rear guards. Because, so numbers, you want to have the 3s, so 23, 33, and then these want to go behind your Vanguard because that'll make it a 33, and then if you have Persona right, it makes it a 43 on attack, which is insanely high numbers. Behind rear guards, most of our rear guards that we're going to be playing that matter, that attack, are 15s, so the 10 doesn't make that much of a difference. If you go 8s instead, it's a lot better, like this guy right here, the Hyperspeed Robo. We'll call him Transformer Jazz. I like that. So essentially, Soul Blast, Counterblast. You get to imprison 1 of their cards. If there's 3 cards in the prison, you get an extra draw. Beautiful. This one also targets anywhere in the rear guard circles. Then you get 4 Bulba Mines. Bulba Mine, honestly, right now it's not that great in my opinion. I know it's a good card, but for me personally, I have discarded it almost every single time for my ride line. I don't think it's too useful at the moment, just because a lot of the matches, a lot of the decks go fast, so you're normally going to take a good amount of damage, so you're going to have the counterblast for most of your effects most of the time. Bulba Mine only came up, I think, like once in all of my games today, and the other day. And then our other grade 1 is going to be the PGs. We're running the ones that, obviously, if you have 2 or less in hand, you get to not pitch anything.
So is there any changes you would make to your grade 1 lineup?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think all of it's fine. Maybe put a 3rd one of these guys instead of the Bulba Mine. Maybe even 4th, just because Bulba hasn't been too useful. But he's also pretty good discard fodder, so I'm not that mad. It's pretty decent. So yeah, there's the grade 1s. Let's move on to grade 2s. Grade 2s, we got the 1 card that we want to see against Bruce, but we never do. The Security Patroller. When he's played, you get a Soul Blast 1 and imprison any of the rear guards. Normally you want to see this against Bruce because their grade 1 will spit out the grade 0. And if you're going first, you drop this on your second turn and then you imprison the grade 0 before they get to put it back into their soul, and then they also don't get the draw. So you prevent them from drawing and getting an extra soul, which is pretty good.
He also just unjustifiably did not get a foil printing for the festival collection, which I call
Unjustly.
hacks.
Exactly. They just don't want Waifu Police looking nice. And then we got, of course, the twins. We got Lemon. And then we got, I need to reread her name. It's Aurora, the Battle Princess. They're both Battle Princesses, so they're the twins. This one, when it's played, you get a counterblast, Soul Blast 1, imprison 1 front row rear guard. This is where the imprisoning any rear guards comes into effect, because this one will only ever imprison front rows. That's something you need to remember, because I did not when I first played the deck. It really helps, so that way you can use your counterblast properly, because you do need to manage well your resources, because if you mismanage, then you get screwed. On top of that, it's a 15k as long as there's 2 cards in prison, which turn 2 is pretty easy since your grade 2 will imprison 1 from hand, and if they decided to go on the offense and played a rear guard in the front circle, you'll imprison a front circle rear guard. And then it also guards for 15, which is really solid, especially against my Bruce matchup. He did not free all of his stuff and left specifically 2, so this was a perfect 15 guard, which is exactly what I needed to survive that turn. And then Lemon imprisons anything from any units specifically from the drop zone, which is really helpful, especially against matchups like Zorga and whatnot. I forget what the other deck's called, but whatever other deck that deals with the drop area. I might be crazy. I might not be thinking, there might not be one. I'm dumb. But anyways, yeah, this one, it's really good. It has the hit pressure where essentially opponents are scared to take the hit, so that way you don't hit the 3 needed for Seraph Snow. And then outside of that, it's just a good unit, especially with her by her side. They're just amazing, beautiful. She's probably one of you want to have an 8 behind. I forgot to mention that. This one you also want to have an 8 behind, so she becomes a 23 and she becomes an 18. Those numbers are better, so that way they overguard more than likely, and they more than have to overguard. So there you go. And then we got the grade 2s out of the way. Let's go to the grade 3s. Since our right line is Seraph Snow, we want 3 Seraph Snows and then 2 of the Gundam Boy. Gundam Boy, he sometimes is discard fodder. Honestly, I've discarded him way less than probably any other card in the deck, surprisingly. Just because a grade 3 that can imprison 1 front row for 1 soul is actually pretty solid in this deck, especially because the 1-drop counterblasts. And it also gets a 2k boost, so it becomes a 15. So then when you have the 8th behind them for the grade 2s, it actually buffs him up to a 23 exactly, which is what you want. And then Seraph Snow, of course, you want the Persona Rides, and I already explained her earlier. Then I think the last thing we're missing are the triggers.
Yes, sir. So
we got, ignore the non-foil, we got 4 draw triggers. Then we got 7 crits. 2 SPs. Just look at the SPs, don't look at the others. There we go.
At least they're foiled.
And then we got 3 of the crits, and then we got 2, 3, 4. 4 heals. Just look at the SP, ignore the others. And then we also got an over trigger. The over trigger has saved me more times than I can count now.
You were hitting that thing left and right today.
Yeah, especially in my last game against Bruce. We had we had 3 triggers left in deck with 6 cards in deck that last turn. So we were drive checking for 3, and I knew the over trigger was still in deck, so we just needed to hope and pray we hit the 50%, and we did. And then we killed him right after with the 200 mil. It was insane.
That is
I believe that is the entire deck profile.
Anything else you'd like to change before, or are you just gonna kind of wait till next set?
I'm just gonna wait and see what comes out, because I still don't know what comes out next set. I'm kind of living in the now.
I feel that. All right, Ricky, any last shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to my boys Zach, Melvin, Khalil, Jose, everyone on mid-tier. You can go check us out. Link will probably be in the description. If not, I won't make a thumbnail for this video,
Like
not blackmailing.
I won't do you that dirty. It'll be in there.
Yeah. But yeah, like Waifu prison or bust, I guess.
I feel that. All right, Ricky. Well, thanks for hopping on the team. I appreciate it. You're a clutch player, and you're coming in clutch this week. 2 weeks back to back. Numero uno, first place, baby. Clutching it up as per usual.
I don't even play this game.
Nah. Go check him out on his channel with all the Dragon Ball content. maybe some Digimon. I'm not sure if you guys are still doing Digimon.
We are. There's still
Alright.
Digimon coming up.
Hell yeah. All right, boys. Well, we appreciate you guys. If you guys like Ricky's deck profile, leave a thumbs up or just call him Dicky in the comments. We'd appreciate that. And as per usual, we'll see you guys soon.